to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about 6 mistakes that single ladies do, and I have some from my husband himself. So if you're curious to know if you're making these mistakes and what these mistakes are, then you know what to do. Hang out with me. Alright, so what I did in prepping for this video is I was wondering what are mistakes that single ladies do, right? So as I was sitting there wondering about it, I decided to ask my husband and say, what do you think single ladies do that are wrong? It took him a while to think about it. He was like, well, I'm not in that place anymore, but he started to give me some really good mistakes that he has remembered just kind of over the years and witnessing and experiencing himself. So I'm going to go back and forth between some of the mistakes I have seen and some of the mistakes that he has seen. Okay, so the first mistake is from me, and it's acting like a wife before you actually are. Now, what does this mean? This can mean anything from having sex with that person, with doing their laundry, with cooking for them constantly, basically assuming all these wifey duties and responsibilities without actually getting the title, moving in with them, whatever a wife does that you are doing as a girlfriend but without the title. Okay, and the reason why you don't want to do this is because then why would they have to make you a wife if you're already acting like the wife? There's a, one of those sayings that says, why buy the cow when you get the milk for free? So why should a man commit to you if you're already doing the things that he would benefit from if he had married you? So again, that first one is going to be acting like a wife before you actually are. Okay, so the second mistake is going to be just talking about themselves. Now, if you're just sitting there and you're talking about yourself through text messages, through email, whatever the form of communication that you guys are utilizing, if you're just sitting and talking solely about yourself, it just doesn't give the other person the opportunity to open up and be able to share things about themselves. So when you are able to just sit back and let them talk and let them offer information, it's showing that you actually have interest in that person. Because if you're overbearing and you're just directing and cutting off the conversation, then a person kind of feels like, like this is kind of like all about you. Why am I even here right now? All right. So as a single lady, you want to make sure to sit back and let that person just kind of talk and be able to offer up some stories and things like that. The third mistake is going to be something that my hubby has also offered up once again, and that is trying to be somebody you're not just to impress somebody. Now, that could look like a million different things. You can try to act really sexual and sensual just to get their attention, but that's not really who you are. Or you try to act really knowledgeable about something and you have no idea what they're talking about, or you're not even interested in it. Or let's say you try to dumb yourself down so that way you don't scare somebody away. You are not to act like anybody else but yourself, because the reality is you want somebody to fall in love with you as you are. You want to be comfortable. Trying to be somebody else takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of lying and deceit. And for what? Why would you do that? Wouldn't you want somebody who really enjoys you as you are? And you can find that person. You just don't want to settle and put yourself in a position where you're opening yourself up to things that you wouldn't want to open yourself up to. The fourth mistake that I'm offering up, and of course it's something I'm going to say, is having sex with somebody or being intimate with somebody as a single lady. Now, I know sometimes, especially those who have already experienced, who have already had a sexual past and sexual experiences, your body is already kind of set to do these type of things, and they're already longing to do these type of things. And look, even if you haven't had any sexual experiences, our body is set to do those type of things, right? But they're set to do it within a certain boundary, and that boundary is marriage. Now, as a single lady, if you just go and you have sex with everybody and you're just having fun, as they say, you're opening yourself up to so many things, and a lot of them are physical STDs or different type of sicknesses, emotionally, connecting with somebody and then getting that ripped apart, because when you have sex with somebody, it binds you to them. There's this, I've said it before, it's called oxytocin. It binds you together, and that's amazing for a husband and a wife because it just keeps you connected. But when it's outside the boundary of marriage, then there's just going to be a lot of damage happening. So again, as a single lady, this fourth mistake you do not want to do is to have sex and be intimate outside the confines of marriage. Now, the fifth mistake is going to be sharing less versus more, or sharing more versus less. Now, this is something my husband offered up. And basically, what it means is this. Let's say you just overshare. Now, first date, you're letting them know all your problems, mental problems, physical problems, all these issues that you have, and you just want to lay it all out there so that way they know what they're getting themselves into. That is not the way to go about it. And this kind of goes back to number 2, letting them talk about themselves, sharing information, but not so much information that you're just kind of, emotionally throwing up all over them, because it can get very awkward and you're just like, well, is this a counseling session? What do you want to what do you want me to do with this information? And the other side of it is not sharing anything at all, being so guarded because you've been so hurt in the past and you don't want to share anything. Now, you don't want to be so closed off that, this person is having a one-way conversation, or he's asking questions and, he's not really getting a response. That's kind of awkward too, because you're like, well, do you really want to be here? Do you really want to have a conversation with me? So there's always balance in these things. The Bible, the Word of God, is all about balance, right? There's this, but then there's this, and you want to make sure that you're balancing yourself well, and always ask the Holy Spirit to help you, because obviously He's going to guide you into the words, into actions, when to go, when to come back. And I'm so thankful that I've had Jesus Christ to be able to lead me and direct me in the different decisions that I've made and things like that. So again, number 5, sharing less versus more, or sharing more versus less. Okay, so the final and 6th mistake that we're going to be talking about is going back to default behaviors. Now, this means this. I remember I was in a relationship for about 2 years and a half, and then that relationship ended, right? So the next person that I started talking to, I started acting the same way as I was in the 2.5-year relationship. Meaning I would call them all the time. I would show up at their job and stuff like that. And, the person in a 2.5-year relationship, we built that up, right? For me to go ahead and do that and be totally comfortable with, showing up unexpectedly and things like that. Now, when I entered into this new relationship, which wasn't really a relationship, I just started talking to this person, I was behaving the same exact way as I was in the 2.5 years. And that actually kind of like pushed him away. Like, dude, you're all over me. Like, what's going on? How come you're here? How come you're showing up? And it didn't click for me. I was just like, oh, looking back at it now, I'm like, I was acting as if I was in a relationship with this guy for 2.5 years when I was actually in a relationship with this guy. So I can't transfer the same behaviors. I have to start fresh. You have to start fresh with every, new relationship. Hopefully it's not that many. But with every relationship, you do have to start fresh. You have to start from ground zero and not take it too fast. And a side note for single moms, or, those who just recently got divorced, you don't want to start taking the sexual behavior into a new relationship if you are not married, okay? You still want to keep sex within the boundaries of marriage. So the default behavior would be, well, I'm just going to start having sex with the next relationship because that's what my body's used to. I'm used to intimacy. This is a time where you really have to go before God and say, God, I know that my body is used to this, but there's a time of waiting now for, this new relationship that I'm coming into, and I'm really going to have to need your help in helping me wait during this time. All right, y'all, so this is the end of this video. I'm so sorry if my hair was all over the place because I'm moving and I'm talking and it's like coming here and there and everywhere. Anyway, subscribe if you haven't, so this way you're up to date with all the new videos that come out. Like this video, give it a 2 thumbs up. You know the jazz. Go ahead and share it if you really feel and are led, and I really hope you are, to share this on your social media. You never know who it's going to help, right? We're all in this together. So if something has blessed you, go ahead and bless it to somebody else. Again, thank you so much for watching. Bye. Okay, so the first mistake is going to be this. The 4th mistake is going to be, now the last one and the 6th mistake that we're going to talk about.